Do you remember the silent tenant, David? The one who moved into our attic, never making a sound, never showing his face. Well, last time we found out he wasn't just a quiet recluse, he was watching us. We found hidden cameras, microphones, a detailed log of our every move. The police came, but found nothing. They said it was probably a prank, but we knew something was terribly wrong. My wife, Helen, was terrified. My daughter, Lily, started having nightmares. And me, I felt like a failure, unable to protect my own family in our own home. The silence from the attic was no longer calming. It was deafening, a constant reminder of the unseen threat lurking above our heads. The week after the police left was pure psychological warfare. It started small. A child's lullaby, faint and distorted, would drift down from the attic in the dead of night. Just a few notes, enough to make you think you were imagining it. Then objects in the house began to move. Helen's favorite porcelain doll appeared on the kitchen counter, its head turned to face the attic door. My car keys, which I always leave by the door, were found inside the refrigerator. We started arguing, accusing each other of being forgetful, of playing sick jokes. The stress was tearing us apart, just like he wanted. Lily stopped speaking almost entirely. She would just sit in her room, staring at the ceiling, her eyes wide with a fear she couldn't articulate. We were prisoners in our own home, haunted by a ghost we couldn't see. One evening, we were having dinner, or we were trying to. No one was eating. The air was thick with unspoken fear. Suddenly, my phone buzzed. It was a text from an unknown number. Just 3 words. I see you. I jumped up, scanning the windows, the yard, anywhere. Nothing. Then Helen's phone buzzed. Same message. We looked at each other, our faces pale. And then the most chilling thing happened. A light flickered on Lily's old baby monitor, which we hadn't used in years. A voice crackled through the speaker, a distorted, raspy voice. You took everything from me. Now I'll take everything from you. It wasn't just a threat. It was a promise. We huddled together in the living room, the baby monitor hissing in the corner like a snake. He wasn't just in the attic anymore. He was in our technology, in our minds. I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed the heaviest flashlight I could find and stormed towards the attic stairs. Helen begged me not to go, but I had to. I had to face him. As I reached the attic door, I found an old, leather-bound journal placed on the top step. It wasn't mine. Primera opened Italiano. The handwriting was my father's. I started reading, and the world fell out from under me. Decades ago, my father had a business partner, a brother almost. They had a falling out over a failed investment. My father, desperate and ruined, framed his partner, sending him to prison and taking over what was left of their company. That partner had a son, a young boy who watched his father get dragged away, his family destroyed. A boy named Damien. The journal entry ended with a chilling line. I had to do it. It was him or us. May God forgive me for what I've done to that family. My blood ran cold. David, Damien, it was all starting to make sense. This wasn't random. This was revenge. A deep-seated, generational hatred aimed directly at me, at my family. I stumbled back down the stairs, the journal in my shaking hand. I showed Helen. The fear on her face was replaced by a dawning horror. We weren't being haunted by a stranger. We were being hunted by a ghost from my family's past. A past I never even knew existed. The house, our home, suddenly felt like a tomb, built on a foundation of lies and betrayal. Every creak of the floorboards, every shadow in the corner seemed to whisper his name. Damien, he had been living with us, learning our secrets, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. We decided we weren't going to be victims anymore. We had to fight back. We cut the power to the house at the main breaker, plunging everything into darkness. No more cameras, no more microphones. We armed ourselves with whatever we could find: kitchen knives, a heavy fire poker. We moved through the house as a unit, our only light coming from our phone screens. Our plan was to trap him in the attic and call the police from outside. We crept up the stairs, my heart pounding in my chest. I reached for the attic door, ready to slam it shut and barricade it. But when I pushed it open, the attic was empty. Completely empty. No furniture, no boxers, just dust. Except for one thing. In the center of the room, a laptop sat open on the floor, its screen glowing. As we cautiously approached the laptop, the screen flickered to life. It wasn't showing a message. It was a live feed, a schematic of our house. Lines of code scrolled rapidly down the sides. Then a new window popped up, showing architectural blueprints. My grandfather, a paranoid and eccentric man, had built this house with hidden pasieres, secret rooms, and a series of mechanical traps. He was obsessed with security after my father's business collapse. We had always thought they were just family legends, but they were real, and Damien had found them. A message appeared on the screen. You think this is your house? It's always been mine. Suddenly, a loud grinding sound echoed from the walls. A section of the hallway wall slid away, revealing a dark, narrow passage. He wasn't just in the attic, he was in the walls. He was the house. A voice, no longer distorted, echoed from the laptop speaker. It was calm, cold, and filled with a chilling clarity. Hello, Marcus! It was Damien. He explained everything. How he had spent years researching my family. How he discovered the house's secrets. How he used a fake identity to become our tenant. His goal was not just to scare us, but to systematically dismantle our lives, just as my father had dismantled his. He told us he was watching us right now through peepholes my grandfather had built. Then the laptop screen changed, showing a live video of Lily's bedroom. Lily wasn't with us. In the panic, she had run back to her room. We saw her huddled in the corner, terrified. And then we saw a shadow detach from the wall behind her. A hand reached out. We screamed and ran. But just as we reached her door, a heavy metal grate slammed down from the ceiling, blocking our path. One of the house's traps. We were separated from our daughter with a monster. We threw ourselves against the grate, screaming Lily's name, but it wouldn't budge. Through the bars, we could see into her room. Damien stepped out of the shadows. He looked ordinary, not a monster, which was somehow more terrifying. He knelt down in front of Lily, and he wasn't holding a weapon. He was holding her favorite teddy bear. He just looked at her, and then he looked through the grate directly at us. This is not the end, he said. his voice calm. This is the beginning. Tanent opened the hidden panel in the wall and disappeared with Lily into the darkness of the secret passages. A moment later, the grate retracted. We rushed into the empty room. The window was open, a cold breeze blowing in. On Lily's bed was the teddy bear, and pinned to it was a small black and white photo. It was a picture of two young boys, arms around each other, smiling. One was my father, the other, I knew, was his. On the back was a single word, soon. We don't know where he took her, or what he plans to do next. All we know is that he's out there, and he's not finished with us. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for updates.